Kindie Rockstars. Prepare for a treat, let's meet and greet some bands and singers that are super sweet, making music that's fun for boys and girls. Help them learn about this great big world. Fun for the family, yes it's true, your kids will love it and you will too. Clap and dance and sing aloud, become a part of the Kindie crowd. These songs will make you move your feet and give your ears a great big treat. So settle in, grab your guitars, and let's get to know our Kindie Rockstars. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kindie Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindie Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. Hello everyone, welcome to Kindie Rockstars. Joining me tonight is Marko Polo. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, I love the name Marko Polo. Takes me back to being a kid and playing in a swimming pool and all that good stuff. But tell everyone out there, what's your background? How'd you get into Kindie music? And then how'd you come up with that name?
Yeah, so I've been a working musician for a number of years. Played around with a band called Firedog for a long time, and we're still together putting out some music here and there. But yeah, we were touring around a lot and releasing indie rock music, but there was always a couple songs that kind of caught the ears of our fans and said, they kind of kept asking, when would you do a kids record? Would you consider doing a kids record? And, when it was when I became a father that my wife was like, I think now's a good time for a kids record. So Firedog put out For the Kids was our first foray into the Kindie music scene. And I went out to KindieCom and met a bunch of these characters, a lot of like-minded people who inspired me to kind of dig into that genre. And Firedog put out a couple other releases. Endangered Species Project and It's Firedog was our last one. During the pandemic, I kind of had an opportunity to put together this solo record under my moniker Marko Polo, which I started using a number of years ago. And it kind of became a nickname because I was traveling a lot at that time. I had the opportunity to travel over in South America and different parts of Europe and all over the US. And it was a great fortune to be able to share music that way. So that's kind of where that name came from. And yeah, this is my first solo effort in the Kindie scene under that name, Marko Polo.
Excellent. I'd love to hear more about your tours down in South America and elsewhere. How did they receive your music? And it was the Kindie music, right?
This was, it was not necessarily geared towards Kindie, but I was traveling with a friend who became my wife. But she was working on a documentary film down there, and she was traveling around in a lot of these Andean villages and meeting with families, doing this research project on maternal health. And so music ended up just being a great way to connect with people there, as foreigners, to kind of have something to offer that was, that's the universal language. So it was a really great way to have kind of meaningful connections and break down some of the language barriers and just have some laughter and joy spread through our music. So that musical exchange.
Gotcha. So with your time in Firehouse when you were doing Kindie stuff and even now, is there a general theme to the kind of songs that you write?
Yeah, with Firedog, Firedog, yeah, we kind of started off even before we got into the Kindie thing. It was really heavy focus on just positive messaging and kind of upbeat, danceable, singable songs. So kind of this idea of uplifting messages, which is was at the time was a little bit different from a lot of the emo stuff that was kind of coming out in the early 2000s there. But yeah, so as far as themes, I think when we started getting into Kindie, well, the Endangered Species Project became this kind of animal focused, informational animal song kind of focused with these kind of conservational messaging. Um, and so, in my new release around this idea of mammal music, so a lot of animal themes. Kids really connect with animals in the natural world, um, and so I guess with the new album, kind of exploring humanity and our role in the natural world, and kind of how humans are just mammals too. So kind of these, I like these really broad kind of thematic uh, song topics, and I like animals too. So
Can't go wrong with animals as a kid's music topic or dinosaurs.
yeah,
Kids love dinosaurs.
oh yeah. Well, it's fascinating, really,
So
really
are you going to
is.
continue forward with both projects? So yours is Marco Polo and then with your band?
Yeah, Fire Dog actually has a. We have an album we're gonna put out in the fall. Hopefully, that's the plan. Of a collection of songs that we've been working on remotely through the pandemic. So we, haven't had as many opportunities to get together to rehearse and that kind of thing. But we've been sending tracks back and forth, and so kind of this it's called the Dog Star tape will be coming out this fall. And yeah, so I do plan to keep working with Fire Dog, and also really excited to be launching my solo Marco Polo thing, and just really excited to get back into performing live again. After the last couple of years have been really pretty sparse for opportunities of that sort. So
Yeah. Another question I talk about a lot with other guests. How did 2020 change everything for you?
oh well. Yeah, so we have an organization here called the Regional Arts Commission that supports local artists, and I I submitted for this grant for my solo project the day before the shutdown, and what I was awarded that grant. So that really it was really so helpful just to give me kind of a creative project. I was able to work with Dean Jones, a great producer out of upstate New York. Does a lot of Kindie albums. And I was home with my kids were 2 and 5 when the schools closed. So it was really kind of it was a very challenging time for us all, but in hindsight, it was this really great opportunity to kind of hunker down with my kids and work on some, writing songs. And I had this great producer that we decided to just do it all remotely, and it, worked out really beautifully. But yeah, and then all the scrambling to kind of adapt all your programs to online formats, which was challenging, but also rewarding in some capacities too. Like I do a lot of songwriting with kids, and I found that doing some of that on Zoom really worked in a different way, than in person. So I was, like a lot of us, I think we were fortunate to be able to continue working, but you know, having those live performances kind of disappear was, it was it's pretty disappointing and challenging to kind of deal with. I'm actually next week going to be doing a string of shows with some libraries that were scheduled for 2020. So kind of this feeling of just catching up here.
All right. Well, better late than never.
Yeah, right. But really fortunate that I was able to get some funding to work on this project and had the time and space carved out for me. So it was, could have been worse, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you, I know you said your kids were 2 and 5 at the time. Have you gotten them involved at all in your recording sessions, or do you plan to?
Yeah, I got them singing backup vocals on one song on the album, and it was a good song. Actually, a song that I wrote with some third graders. It's called "Be Brave." So they're singing the chorus, the COURAGE, and that was fun. And they sang on some other stuff too. They had fun in the studio, my little closet studio here. And we did do a lot of music making. I think there were some times though where they were like, "Okay, Dad, I need you to put the guitar away." And they're telling me to be quiet, and kind of role reversal thing.
Oh, well, what do you do? All right. You ready to get into a song?
Oh, sure.
Our song today is called Big Brains. All right. What was the inspiration behind this one?
Oh, well, this was a song that came out during the pandemic. I think I was just kind of, in a particularly tough place. I think it was like the fall of 2020, late fall maybe, and just kind of noticing the discord, among the strain that was that we were all feeling on our relationships, and I was just kind of trying to seek out those commonalities, and like kind of talk myself into this idea that we're all really, there's a lot more similarities there than there are differences, and that's kind of where this concept came from. This lyric, "I'm just like you and you're just like me," and just this idea that we're these mammals with big brains, and we have the capacity to change our minds and adapt and evolve and be resilient, and kind of overcome our differences and find common ground. So that's kind of the idea behind the song. Just trying to find that sense of uplift or transcendence. Yeah,
this is a song you could transport pretty much any time in history, and it's relevant.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here it is, Big Brains by Marko Polo.
Just like you, there's so many things that we can do. There's so much life we can sustain. We've got big brains. You are just like me. There's so many ways that we can be. We can adapt and we can change. We've got big brains. There's so many feelings that we Human beings. Human beings. You are just like me. We both want to feel free. We want to minimize our pain. We've got big brains. I am just like you. So many choices that we can choose, and we want to feel safe. We've got big brains. Someday we'll find it, what we have been seeking. Human beings. Human beings. Human beings. Human beings. Only human.
We've got big brains.
We're only human.
We've got big brains.
We're only human.
We've got big brains.
We're only human.
We've got big brains.
So much life we can sustain.
We've got big brains.
We can adapt and we can change.
We've got big brains.
Resilient and strange. We've got big brains.
All right, Marko Polo, let everybody know where they can stream and download your songs, where they can find you on social media, and then what's next for Marko Polo.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so you can find my music on all the main streaming platforms, and you can find me on Facebook, Marko Polo Music, and Instagram, Marko Polo Music, and my website, Marko Polo Music. So,
Awesome. I love consistency.
yeah, trying to streamline my messaging. Yeah, I hope you do find me, and I should mention Bandcamp. I'm up on there too, as well as Firedog, and that's a great way to really truly support independent artists like myself.
Excellent.
Yeah, and as far as what's up next, I'm just excited to be having some live shows this spring and summer, and I'm also looking ahead to maybe do a couple singles here, maybe this fall as well.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you and to Firedog. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This was awesome. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate what you're doing here.
All right. Thank you so much. Talk to you again soon.
All right. Take care.